Welcome to the week 4 spreads of the week. We are back on the 1st of October, getting into the business end of the spread season here as we get into the fall month, officially fall now. And this week we're going to start briefly by having a look at our best and worst picks against the spread last week. So I'll go first, Mike.
All right,
I was very happy with the Jacksonville Jaguars covering that spread against the Chargers there. I think we both had that one nailed on, 3.5 points. We like what the Jags are doing this year. The run game's going, so they seem to be a good team to back on the road, certainly with their rushing attack and the way their line's working. So, we might throw it back to a spread for this week, actually, where they're on the road, but I digress. My worst one from last week. Yeah, on the road. My worst one from last week had to be that Thursday night clanger. I mean, what an absolute clanger, a spread buster there. The Pittsburgh Steelers trying to play some backyard rugby and ending up with the ball in their end zone. The Browns cover the 6.5 points. The Steelers were just on to cover the 6.5. Made a lot of people unhappy. I think that one. I think a lot of people would leave a sour taste of their mouth from that one. That's my 2 from last week. It feels like an age ago now, but I'll hand over to you.
I just feel like a long time ago. I was trying to refresh my memory there at the start, trying to figure out what it was. My favorite was definitely the Jacksonville one. I have to agree with you. That was the most satisfying. We were texting back and forth as that game was going on, and we were just loving it. Really enjoy. Nothing against it. I don't really have anything against the Chargers. I know you're not a fan, but it's good to see the Jags not being terrible, and obviously Dougie P righting the ship there by the looks of things, as I suspected he might. So that was good to see. And then for me, honestly, it was the worst one. Obviously, goes without saying. What is the one that you mentioned is up there just for the antics at the end. But also for me, the Eagles, I felt like we were a much better football team than the Commanders in all areas, but I still just was refusing to believe that this was going to be a good team this year, this Eagles team. And we absolutely blew the doors off the Commanders, and I should have stuck to the power of my convictions and said, yeah, that was going to happen. But alas, I didn't foresee nine sacks of Carson Wentz. It was a lovely evening for me last week.
It was very satisfying in the end, although it didn't get you the spread point. Although, the sound logic on picking the Commanders, they're 6-point home dogs in a divisional game. I mean, you really have to pick them there. So
I know, but we've discussed it in previous episodes where you're a lot higher on the Commanders than I am. I think they're worse football team than the Giants, honestly. So I should have just had the power of my convictions. But anyway, I digress. That's the past now. We're on to the core, Thomas.
Yeah, right. Do you want to bring up the screen for the athletic spreads of the week, and we can start running through some of these week 4 lines? And I guess we'll start with the Thursday night game.
Yes.
Recording Saturday, obviously. Now, we both took, we're both on record with us, taking the Dolphins to cover 4 points there. It was looking like it was on for a bit until just a horrendous injury.
Yeah.
Tua there blew that one up. Another Thursday night underdog failing to cover. It just seems increasingly hard to pick these Thursday night games. You never really know what the hell's going on with them.
Yeah, short weeks do seem to blur the lines as to what you can expect from teams. The Dolphins as well, such an emotional win against the Bills. The Ken Dorsey Bowl at the end there with his explosion, the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, which was probably the highlight of my season so far. I don't know about you, Tom. After that kind of game, and going on the road, we probably should have, and they had to leave early because of hurricane. We probably should have foreseen a more comfortable Bengals win, but alas, didn't happen. And the Bengals have recovered slightly. I'm not going to crown them. I think they are.
Crown them.
No, I think they are still who we thought they were. They're a talented team with pretty subpar play on both lines of scrimmage, which Burrow was good enough to overcome last season, but it's going to be it'll have to be another Herculean effort from him to overcome it this year. But yeah, maybe he's got it in him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, very good analysis there. So we both dropped one on the first game, as with last week. And we're going to bring it over to London, Mike, to the hometown here.
We will. And while I am doing that, we should also mention that we both got 6 spreads right in week 3, which is following up my 13 in week 2. That is an absolutely dismal effort. So we need to be better this week, starting with our hometown game here, Tom, in London. Vikings at Saints. We have the spread as the Vikings as a -3.5 point favorite. Neutral venue off a long flight. I never know where to pick these, and I wouldn't touch this with my own money.
No,
I can't call this game at all. So this is really good insight for the people, Tom.
It is. Stella was always there, Mike. Now I would think the general public would be on the Saints here to cover a field goal. Traditionally, history tells us these London games are usually field goal games with sloppy play surrounding them. But I just don't really fancy the Saints. As with last week, I actually backed them last week, but I think I said to you I wouldn't feel comfortable putting money on a Jameis Winston-led team. We can see there he's already had more picks and touchdowns through 3 games, so hardly surprising. And I think the Vikings have shown a little something this year. I feel like the experience of Kirk Cousins and that team on the road is more who I would side with in this one. So give me the Vikings -3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor as well, Tom. If you can I haven't filled in the sheet yet, so if you could make a note of who I'm picking here, that'd be good if you wouldn't mind. I'm going to agree with you. Give me Minnesota. 2 teams that I don't really rate against each other. We saw the Saints in person go down to Trevor Lawrence in London. And I think more of the same. Give me the Vikings and Kirk coupons to pull one out.
Yeah, agree.
So looks like it wants to take us to Baltimore next.
Good morning, Baltimore.
The Buffalo Bills going to Baltimore as 3-point favorites. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. The thing that jumps out to me about this game is the Bills need to be more balanced. They need to run the ball a little bit more. If they allow the Ravens to get into their exotic sub packages and blitz Josh Allen all day, it's going to get quite messy for them, I think.
Yeah.
So that would be my immediate concern. However, Baltimore's defense has been bad this year against everybody else. So I think I'd be tempted. To take the Ravens as a home dog in this one, but it's tight, very, very tight. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's tempting. It's not the best spread to attract bettors either, with the round 3 points.
Yeah.
For a 3.5. Yeah. I feel like with this, you're essentially picking a winner. So
yeah,
I would say the Bills right the ship and get back on track. I guess their season could go one or 2 ways after the meltdown last week, but I think they'd be pretty fired up to come back and show everyone what they're about in a bounce back game here. So just going on the form really, which is all I can go on in this tight spread. I'll take the Bills -3.
Yeah, so will I. I agree with you. You've talked me into it. I was on the fence, but yeah, I think it was a bit of a freakish loss for them last week to the Dolphins as well. I think if they play like that again, they're getting some more people back healthy. I think the Bills right the ship here.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Next one, a lot of interest for me here. The Jacksonville Jaguars on the road in Philadelphia, coming in as a 6.5-point underdog. Ooh, I mean,
Well, you stick or twist here. We've lauded the Jags for their ability to cover these spreads, but this is a high flying Eagles team.
no pun intended.
No, not at all.
I don't do puns. Yeah, I think. Look, I'm going to have to take the Jags to cover here. They're in really good form. They beat up a really injured, as per usual, injured Chargers team last week. Obviously, this is a much stiffer challenge against one of the two remaining undefeated teams in the league. But on the other hand, the Eagles haven't really been battle tested yet. We've played inferior teams in every game. I think we've been favoured in every game. So I think it'll be a really good challenge. I think it'll be a close game. I think Dougie P will get them. He'll get his standing ovation that he wants from the Eagles faithful, and his team will come to play. But I think Eagles by a field goal.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can certainly see that happening. Yeah, the field goal winning a close one. I do think the Jags will try and control the clock a bit. And yeah, look, they're good on defense, so I do like him in these road games to cover. I think there's a slight overreaction on the spread after their drubbing of the Chargers. I think when they're putting together the spreads, a lot of the time they'll just look at the box scores. And as you said, the Chargers were really beaten up. I think if they'd only won by a field goal, the spread could be 3 or 4 points more in the Eagles' favor. So I'm going to jump in on the Eagles here at 6.5. Win.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah, I'm going back on my word, and I've really trusted the Jags so far, and they've done me well. But I don't know, the Eagles just beating up on everyone. It's whether the Jags will be the stiff competition you asked for. I'm not sure, not 100% sure yet. So let's differ on this one. You take the Jags, I'll go with Philly.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I was pretty confident you'd go Jags there, so that's very interesting. Speaking of the aforementioned beaten up Chargers, they come in.
Oh my goodness! Jump in.
They come in as 6-point favorites here over Lovie Smith and the Houston Texans at home. I'm gonna let you. You feel strongly, Tom. Please, after you.
Well, I don't think there's much to talk about with this one. This is a Houston cover for the ages here. A home game. Houston have covered pretty much, I think, every spread so far that they've been underdogs in. They covered against the Bears last week. They had an easy cover in their opening divisional game against the Colts. Not another divisional game, but this is this is an odd one for me. Herbert's still very shaken up, it seems.
Apparently it still hurts for him to breathe at the moment or cough.
Yeah, I mean, how can you put money on that? That is ridiculous. This is a Houston cover for me. I'm going to nail this one on. Yeah,
agreed. I don't really need to add anything to that. I think we did. I think they finally get off the schneid here, the Texans. I wouldn't bet against them winning the game outright. So
yeah.
Let's see if we're proven correct about that one. I'd like to think so. I do enjoy the Texans, even though they're a bit undermanned. Speaking of undermanned, the Seattle Seahawks come in to play the Detroit Lions in Motor City. Coming in, bit of a flight for them from the Pacific Northwest, coming in as 3.5-point dogs. Ooh-wee. I mean, I guess I let you go first last time, so I should probably go first this time.
See what you think about this. You might sway me either way here.
I think I've backed the Lions every week so far this year because they finished the season strongly last year. They're a very potent offense, which is the key in the modern NFL, and they tend to keep the games close, but then they do shoot themselves in the foot as well, which makes them very lovable and enjoyable to watch, but it also makes them hard to be totally confident with. I don't think the Lions are in a position yet where they beat people by a touchdown. I think they still win by a field goal. You've got your beloved 3.5 spread there, Thomas. So I'm going to take the Seahawks to cover that, and I think a very close win in this game for the Lions.
Oof, yeah, I agree with that. I was leaning more to the Lions, but as you said, they do shoot themselves in the foot. This could go one of two ways. I think this if the Lions do win, it could be by a lot, because if they get up, the Seahawks aren't coming back. Even if the Lions do struck a bit.
Well, to be honest, though, I will say the Seahawks offense has not been the weakness of this team, though. They're putting up points. Actually, the problem is they can't stop anybody. But it's going to be a high-scoring game anyway with the Lions. They seem to be in high-scoring games every week, so I'm not really worried about that aspect. Really, I still think they'll put up points. The Seahawks.
Yeah, no, they will. Yeah, I just don't. I feel like I trust the Lions a bit more than the Geno Smith-led offense at the moment. So.
That's fair. I mean, that's totally fair.
Yeah, I think I'll differ then, because I was really on the fence with this, but I'll take the Lions, the lovable Lions.
Lovable Lions. Okay. Yeah, I'm already feeling very nervous about that one, because I just think they just feel like a 2-2 football team to me. The Lions. I think they're not going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. We could talk about that one all day, and I still wouldn't feel good about my pick. The Commanders. God. I mean, who is watching this game? The Commanders at the Cowboys. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to bump the Cowboys out of a primetime slot.
Yeah, that's true.
But having to watch this Cowboys offense and this Commanders offense, I can see why they've taken it out of prime time. After you, sir, I'll see if you've got any thoughts on this one.
Well, Cooper Rush is 3-0 in his career. He hasn't lost a game yet in the NFL. I can't see him losing this one. As you said, the Commanders might be the worst team in football. I think it's gone very wrong there, very quickly. Home game for Dallas. You have to take Dallas here for me. I mean, you couldn't put money on the Commanders at all from what you see.
Defense. Micah Parsons is going to have a field day with Carson Wentz.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that'd be ugly.
I think so. I think it'd be Cowboys by a touchdown, to be honest.
Yeah.
Low scoring, though. Low scoring.
Yeah, low scoring, yeah.
I could see that 14, maybe 16-3, maybe, with a safety of Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. We're both happy with that. Good Cowboys cover there. Very nice. As you say, with a 3-point spread, you're effectively picking a winner anyway. So not too much to consider there.
Here's a tight one.
Holy mackerel. Okay. No, actually, I have a pretty distinct opinion on this. It's my turn to go first, I think. I'm surprised how confident I am in this. The Falcons just aren't very good. I watched it. That Seattle performance, that win for them in Seattle last week was a step forward, but they're going to need a lot more than that. They really are still very talent deficient when you actually look at their team.
Yeah.
They're putting up a lot of points, but the Jacoby Brissett Browns are actually putting up a lot of points. I think it's 8th. Looks like it says down there. 6th most points in the NFL. If I can put my reading spectacles on. And I just think the Falcons will make some catastrophic errors at fairly predictable times, and Browns will take advantage. So yeah, I like the Browns to go in there and get a win, tight win.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. The Falcons' talent deficiency is largely on their offensive and defensive lines. From what not that I watched it a lot, but that's certainly what I've gleaned from watching them this season. Good pieces on the outside they're developing, but I think the Browns are very astute on both sides of the ball. in terms of the lines, and they'll just dominate this from start to finish. I think. Odd one here. -1 should be about -5, -6. I think. I mean, just on form alone, but goodness, yeah, pile in on the Browns here. Give me the Browns.
I think maybe what's skewed people is how close that game was against a pretty bad Steelers team. Now that JJ Watt's injured, TJ Watt, I keep doing that. TJ Watt is injured. Maybe the bookmakers are thinking the Browns should have won that game more comfortably than they did, and that's reduced confidence. But I don't know. I think the Falcons are as bad as the Steelers. So yeah, Browns.
Yeah, and the win for the Falcons last week, I suppose, playing into that a bit as well. Which
why me? They're going. I mean, the rosters change so much year to year. I would hope year on year form doesn't impact it too much, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Titans at Colts. Oh God. Luckily, you're going first here. I mean, yeah, I'll let you go.
Well, you have to love an AFC South divisional cover. I mean,
this is a shit game, isn't it?
I think I've rarely seen a spread in the AFC South not being covered by the underdog.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Go on. It has to be the Texans. Sorry, the Titans, just because of just the history dictating that these are always covers for the underdog.
I'm being very chalk this. I'm agreeing with all of your picks. I feel like when you go first, but like, yeah, I agree. I do. Yeah. The Titans are terrible on the offensive line, but the Colts are dreadful as well in a lot of areas. So that Colts win against the Chiefs, talking about a freakish wins earlier. That was it. All the Chiefs needed was a field goal kicker, and the Colts would have lost that game quite handily, I think. It's just they look really bad. Yeah, give me the Titans. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I'm just actually looking through this year alone. We've had the Texans cover handily against the Colts in week 1, and then Jags destroy the Colts in week 2. I mean, just on that alone, you have to think this is going to be a cover for the underdog, and maybe even a win for the underdog in that AFC South.
Yeah, agreed. Bears at Giants. Wow.
Oh.
There's some bad games this week on that.
Yeah.
Luckily, this is not in the evening slate of games, so we won't have to be exposed to too much of this one on Red Zone. It'll probably be barely featured.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine seeing any of this at all on Red Zone. But there'll probably be a few picks offered up here from both quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, you can see that quite clearly. Yeah, look, turning the ball over. Justin Fields looks broken to me. Yeah. There's a lot of the time for rookie quarterbacks, it's about the situation they end up in and the infrastructure around them. And obviously the Bears have not provided anything. I don't know if Montgomery is healthy for this game. I haven't looked into that, but out. I mean, Khalil Herbert looks a good player in his absence. I'm not too worried about their running game with Herbert in there. Though, I mean, God, the Giants have got an easy schedule this year, haven't they? They're 2-1, and now they play the Bears. I mean, geez.
At home, that's nice for them. Very nice.
Yeah, give me the Giants. I don't know. Just give me the Giants. Like I don't like either of these teams really. I think a tie would be. I wouldn't be surprised if it came to a really sloppy tied game. But just for a little bit more on offense, the Giants. Ride Saquon, run Daniel Jones, and just eke out enough points to get the win.
Yeah, I'm just going to go on averages as well. Giants lost last week. Bears won last week.
Somehow, miraculously.
I can't see the Bears winning 2 in a row. And the Giants at home probably aren't going to lose 2 in a row. Let's be honest. Just on averages. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Take the Giants.
God, don't you feel bad doing it, though?
Yeah, I mean, goodness, imagine if you actively had money on that. You'd be in an absolute sweat for the whole game. There'd be so much calamity going on. You'd be constantly rethinking your decision.
An absolute Josh Sweat there.
A Montez sweat.
All the sweats. Jets at Steelers. Seriously?
Oh, goodness.
What in the world this week? It's not even worth watching the 6 o'clock window this week.
No, the London game actually has a chance to be better than most of these.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's your turn, Tom. You're gonna have to tell us what you think about this game.
Yeah. Steelers have been shocking against the spread all year. Haven't covered once, from what I can tell. I know they should have covered against the Browns, but it's 3 from 3 losers against the spread. Meanwhile, the Jets, we have seen them cover some spreads so far. I think as long as the Jets get that running game going, which Michael Carter only 122 yards, have to see that increase as well as the rookie they've got. I think they can put together a formula to win this one against the Steelers, who don't seem to have any sort of offense at all. So you can't trust the Steelers to win this. Maybe they win by a field goal, but certainly I think Jets cover 3.5 here. Joe Flacco, a little comeback season in the works for him here. He's played pretty well, let's be honest.
Yeah. Until Zach Wilson comes back next week. I just had an astounding statistic there that the Steelers have allowed the 25th most yards. I mean, their defense is supposed to be the strength of their team. Oh God. I'm going to go contrarian here, I think.
Yeah. That's fine. I don't think we need to spend too much more time on this. I think there's some more juicy games we can get to, actually.
Wait, let me finish. I've started, so I'll finish. Just purely again on averages, the Jets have gone and won one game against the spread versus the Browns in the AFC North. I just don't think they beat another AFC North team on the road. They're just not a good enough team, the Jets, to do that. And their defense is as I said to you last week, defensive head coach, their defense is terrible, the Jets. Which keeps the Steelers in the game. So, oh God, I don't like doing it, but give me the Steelers.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Good to differ on that one. Might add a little intrigue to an otherwise boring game there.
We only have 10 minutes left, so we're going to have to make this pretty rapid fire. So we got basically pick a winner between the Panthers and the Cardinals. I mean, I know how I feel.
It has to be the Cardinals now. I mean, I know the Panthers beat the Saints last week, but it didn't look good doing so. The Saints aren't on a great litmus test. I think the Cardinals are starting to get something going here, and they'll ultimately just be a bit too much for the Panthers here. Just the Cardinals. Not much else to say.
Yeah, it's actually really straightforward. One Cardinals, more talented team.
Yeah,
cool.
I think so.
All right, well, this should be huge. This next one should be massive. I haven't seen it since Mac Jones was officially ruled out, but Patriots on the road to Packers. Yeah, there it is. 9.5 points.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think you said to me earlier in the week you would pile in on the Packers. How do you feel about that now?
Yeah, I'm going to take them. Yeah, I'm going to take them. I've got Rodgers in fantasy football. I've got the Packers defense to come in against Brian Hoyer, led against the dream team, the brain trust, which is Hoyer, Joe Judge, and who was the big lad that was
Matt
Patricia, the offensive brain trust. I mean, look, the Patriots, as always, have got a very competitive defense. So the Packers will probably only put up like 21 points. But how many are the Patriots going to put up? Jesus Christ. 3? Yeah. Give me the Packers.
Yeah.
In Green Bay.
I think, okay, I'll agree with that. I think, if Matt Jones was playing, I might feel a bit more comfortable with the Pats cover, but I was thinking of
it wouldn't. The line wouldn't be this big with Mac Jones in. I don't think.
No, I wouldn't. No, that's true. And even so now, I was still thinking of taking the Pats, but you can't put money on Hoyer. I mean, really, after all we've seen from him through the years. So, yeah, the Pats maybe just takes a touchdown and then a couple of turnovers, and this one's over, I think.
That's exactly how I feel. So then we're on to the Sunday night window, part 3.
Lovely AFC
at the Raiders.
Much vaunted AFC West now.
What is going on?
Old division with a lot of teams with losing records.
The Broncos are top the AFC West now, with the Chiefs' loss.
I guess they would be joint top. Yeah, they haven't gone head to head.
I mean, the fact that the Broncos' offense has been genuinely. I think Rich Eisen made the point this week that the Tim Tebow-led offense in Denver was more explosive than this current version of it. And I mean, you can't disagree with that. They've been dreadful on offense.
Yeah, it's just taken time to get their head around it for whatever reason. It just doesn't seem to be sticking.
This line though is off to me. I don't know how you can favour an 0-3 team in any game. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. It's very odd. I mean, you saw a decent Niners team go into Mile High and just get worn down. I mean, the Broncos still found a way to win that. So
that defense they've got some serious talent on that defense still.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I mean, it's a field goal win though, isn't it? I don't like McDaniels either. It's just something about him I'm not the biggest fan of. I think purely just on what I've seen so far, I have to go Denver on this one.
Now, I wanted to go Raiders before I saw the line, just because I assumed they would be a home dog. Now, the fact that they're favoured in this game,
it's just wrong, isn't it?
It's worrying me, but I've got to have the power of my convictions. I think just on averages, I don't think the Raiders have been as bad as the Broncos this year, and somehow the Broncos are 2-1 and the Raiders are 0-3. So I'm going to say the Raiders cover this. I think the Raiders win this game and finally get their first dub of the year. It's going to have to happen eventually, and it may as well happen in a divisional game at home, is my thinking.
I can certainly see that. Yeah, it's I'm probably like 51-49 in favor of Denver. So your point makes a lot of sense to me there, and I can see either of these results.
Okay. We've only got 4 minutes left, so we better make this quick because I don't think it gives you all of those 4 minutes either. They're a bit stingy. So Chiefs at Bucks. Pick a winner, Tom, with a 1-point spread. Oh no, it's my turn to go first, isn't it? Blimey. Oh God, we needed longer to talk about this one, didn't we? I think Buccaneers are still too beaten up. I think the Buccaneers will rally when they get some playmakers back. I don't know if you've heard of their wide receivers being available. I guess Evans will be back this week, or is he banned for 2 games after throwing that punch?
No, I'm not sure now. No, I don't know on that. I think, that is big. Just the receivers that are out.
Yeah, and the Chiefs defensively normally have some answers for Brady. Spag normally comes up with something for Brady historically. And I just don't think the Chiefs are a 2-2 football team, and I think the Buccaneers are purely because of their injuries. So give me the Chiefs on the road.
Yeah, I'd have to take that as well. I think with the Chiefs, it's just kind of like they're just workshopping things at the moment, trying to get all the new receivers involved in the game. But a good constant for me watching the games has been the defense. They have been good. I've been impressed. And yeah, I think they've got a lot of young talent coming in and contributing on the defense. I like them to keep it close and probably win. So go on, I'll take the Chiefs with you. I don't think there's going to be too much in it, but probably a field goal win there.
Good game though. Definitely the game of the week. I'll be very excited to watch that on the extended highlights the following day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not staying up till 1:20 a.m. as you can see here, UK time. That's just very unlikely these days.
Yeah. Not much for me anymore. Maybe I will.
All right then. Cool. Well, look, picks have been made. We'll see how they go, and we'll check back.
We've got one more. We've got one more, Mike. The Rams at San Francisco. It's Monday Night Football.
Oh, right. Well, we haven't got time for this, I don't think, but we'll give it a go. It never.
That's all right. I think you've gone a bit too far. So Rams going to San Fran.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There you go. Now, yeah, the Niners enter this as favorites.
Yeah, we've got a minute and 30 seconds. So I'm just going to pick a team here. I'm going to pick the Rams in a close one. These are all in the NFC West anyway.
This will be close, yeah. Pretty much as close as you said. I think I'll just differ with you and go the Niners because I don't think they lose 2 in a row. I'm still not totally convinced with the Rams. They look worse on defense this year, and I think the Niners can probably move the ball enough to beat them here.
Good stuff. Right. Well, despite me prematurely trying to end the call, we've done it now. Let's see how these work out. We'll come back for week 5, reconvene for week 5, and see how we got on.
Yeah, all right, mate. That was fun as always. And yeah, look forward to seeing the results.
Take it easy.
All right.